Welcome back to Movies TV Man. I admit your host with the most to start your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Friday's edition of the DCU Daily. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you in between. WB, give it to James Gunn straight. Nobody cares about your shit. Nobody cares about the DCU. Your Superman movie was a disastrous flop, although being top of the flops this summer in the worst, most uninspiring summer blockbuster season of all time. They are in trouble. They're trying their best to make Superman look like a successful movie, and every grift they have tried has failed. What are they going to do now, everyone? There is no Batman, the Brave and the Bold. There is no Swamp Thing. There is no Gods and Monsters, but according to Gunn, there's the Super Saga. They, my friends, are in a lot of trouble, and they don't know how to fix this situation. The only way to fix this situation is to fire James Gunn, who's been an absolute calamity as the co-CEO of DC Studios. I've said many times, solid, good, okay, writer-director, give him his own DC corner, fine. But why would anyone in their right minds put this man, this average, okay, good writer-director, as a co-CEO of a studio? But let's be honest, he's just a co-CEO of a fucking logo. Where is the DC Studios social media account? There isn't one. Well, you can't have a social media account for a studio that's a logo and not a studio. The whole thing was a facade from the beginning, and it's still a facade. His Peacemaker 2, its numbers are not that great, but don't worry, his simps, his fans are telling you it's the highest rated verified critic score in Rotten Tomatoes histories for a DC show. But we all know that Smallville, Superman and Lois, Arrow, The Flash are superior better than this shit, Peacemaker 2. Because I kind of enjoyed Peacemaker 1. But I'm locked out, I'm geo-locked out of this show anyway. But I want to watch it anyway if I could. After Superman, after the one time I saw Superman without having to pay for it, thank fuck, I'm done with this shit. There is no arc. There is no story. There's nothing here. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go and watch Supergirl out of intrigue. If I'm offered to watch it for free, then I will, and I'll let you know. Maybe I'll pay and watch it once. I don't know. Depending on the trailers, depending what we see. Is this going to be woke and shit? Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think the comic's slightly anti-male, but that's just my opinion. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Supergirl steals, breaking news, Supergirl steals Superman's logo. Instead of Man of Tomorrow, it's Woman of Tomorrow. Instead of Krypto being Superman's dog, Krypto is Supergirl's dog, right? You know, I keep on hearing in alt-left Hollywood about men taking the credit for women's work, as we heard in Batwoman, but it seems to me, in this case, it's a woman taking credit for a man's work. But anyway, WBD and James Gunn are in a lot of trouble because Superman didn't work out the way they needed it to and the way they wanted it to. They had wet dreams and orgasms about the headline, Superman beats Man of Steel. James Gunn is better than Zack Snyder. That would never be a fucking reality, never in a month of fucking Sundays. And let's be fucking clear about that before we go any forward. Because I've said this before and I'll say this a billion times and I'll say this every day on every single video. If we were in any other era, any other decade, Zack Snyder would be hailed as a pioneer. But not in the era of Comrade Feig and Comrade Gunn and every other crappy, shitty, creative, Zack Snyder is a pioneer to me. Zack Snyder does make beautiful movies. He actually did have a fucking plan, and they cancelled it. They cancelled it and swapped it for bright colours and bad gags. That's what they did. That's what they swapped it for. So what have we got now? Nothing. WB have told the man, nobody gives a shit about your DCU, apart from a handful of people on Twitter who probably are only now watching the film for the first time on digital and will probably watch the shit out of it on HBO Max, but it doesn't matter about HBO Max views. It matters about digital views because you're buying that. Will Superman being on Max drive subscriptions? Has Peacemaker 2 driven subscriptions? This is the only thing that Warner Brothers Discovery care about. And the truth is, fucking no. If you look at the purchase charts for Superman on digital home release, they're absolutely terrible. And in fact, it doesn't compute for a movie that apparently has made 600 million plus in the global box office. Doesn't make sense. Just like its record-breaking teaser trailer views. Any other teaser trailer that's had those kind of views has made near on $1 billion plus at the global box office, which says they orchestrated fake numbers. Allegedly, of course, because it doesn't make sense, does it, boys and girls? How did those record views come to pass? As I say, Deadpool and Wolverine, record views, $1 billion plus. Spider-Man No Way Home, record views, $1 billion plus, right? Top Gun Maverick, again. So Superman gets record views, but where's the box office? 600 million plus, it's top of the flops. That's totally amazing. Have you read that IGN article? Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with it on this video. But they say Superman and Fantastic Four didn't make $1 billion, and that's okay. It's not okay with the studios, you fucking propaganda merchants. You idiots. It wasn't okay to you people when Man of Steel didn't make $1 billion. It wasn't okay with you when Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice didn't make $1 billion. It wasn't okay with you when the first Suicide Squad didn't make $1 billion. It wasn't okay with you when the first Wonder Woman, superior to anything Gunn could ever make, or Marvel's female-led woke shit, when that didn't make $1 billion, it wasn't okay with you. But suddenly, when the MCU boys are running things, the MCU and the DCU, and their shit isn't making bank, that's okay. It's called a film industry, boys and girls, for a reason. And the reason is to make money. You make money in an entertainment industry by entertaining people. You, in a supermarket, you sell soup that people like because it's going to make you money. You please your customers, they come back, you make sure the soup tastes yummy and scrumptious. Well, entertainment doesn't taste yummy and scrumptious anymore. They either can't make anything, they can't entertain people, or they're refusing to. That's the point. So, they're in a bit of a bind. They're in a bit of a sticky position, everyone. What do they do next? Because their shit isn't making money. Their Superman hasn't been a cultural icon. Some idiot on Twitter, sadly someone representing the Snyder fans, because I think normally the Snyder fans are kind of sensible, said that Superman 78 didn't have a cultural impact. Now, I don't care how biased you are for Zack Snyder. I love Zack Snyder. But Superman 78 was the first movie I saw. It's the reason I love this character. It's the reason I'm writing these movie scripts. Superman 78 absolutely had a cultural impact, you fucking idiot. Stop trying to put cultural icons down to uplift your shit. Whether you're a Gunn stan, whether you're a Snyder stan, I couldn't give a fucking shit. But anyway, Gunn's in trouble, they're in trouble, and you've seen what they've done. They've been bribing very famous, successful people from Hollywood to say Superman is the bestest movie ever, which we know it's not. They're lying. They don't like that movie, but they've been bribed to say they like that movie. We're seeing it all over Twitter. We're seeing the quote from Variety and THR. James Gunn did such a great job because Superman is such a hard character to write. No, he's not. As I said the other day, if you love Superman and you know Superman, he ain't hard to write once you get him. When I decided to write a Superman movie script, I wasn't sitting there for hours. What do I do with Superman? He's too powerful. He's too nice. No, I didn't. What do I want? Man of Steel's just been on the screen. There's been this debate about the killing of Zod. I'll put Superman's no-kill policy on fucking trial. I'll make Metallo one of the characters in this movie. I'll make John Corbin, Lois Lane's, and Clark Kent's best mate. I'll have Manchester fucking Black murder him and turn him into Metallo so he can pressure Superman into killing him. And then we'll have flashbacks to World War II when Superman is being pressured by the Allies to kill Hitler and the Nazis and how Superman refuses to do that. I come up with this very easily, boys and girls. You know why? Because I'm talented and I have an imagination. And as I say, I love Superman. And because I love him and I know having him beaten up for 2 fucking hours isn't a sign that you fucking know him or love him. It means you hate him. James Gunn, this is the reality of your feelings towards Superman. Because we know you're a male feminist. We know you're alt-left. We know you purposely pulled Superman's red trunks down by his ankles and then made sure he couldn't walk for 2 hours. You had him beaten up and beaten up. You had him shouting like a man baby because you wanted him to look like a man baby. That's your mentality. You think you're funny. You think we can't see what you're doing. But I've got a high IQ, son, and I can see exactly what you did in this fucking movie. If the other idiots can't see it, even the Snyder bros can't see it, but I can. It's saying the Snyder bros haven't really spoken about that this is a woke, extreme left movie that hates straight white males. You know, right-wing YouTubers saying, well, it's not woke. Yes, it is. It's a movie that hates men and hates Superman for being a man, but then Gunn's very comfortable. And this is the slam dunk proof that he's a male feminist, he's an extremist, when he has a drunk Supergirl walk into the Fortress of Solitude, take her dog, which really shouldn't be her fucking dog, and call Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, a pure-hearted fucking hero brought up by the sort of the Earth on Smallville, by the Kents, a bitch. How is Superman, Kal-El, Clark, a bitch? Oh, she's drunk. She didn't mean it. I don't care. Those words shouldn't come out of Kara's mouth. They would never come out of Helen Slater's, Supergirl's mouth. They would never come out of Mel Benoist's, Supergirl's mouth. And even that show was kind of woke at times and extremist. But I thought Mel Benoist's performance on its own, without the bad scripts at times, was fantastic. James Gunn's Superman is a movie that hates men and hates Superman. And I've proved it, I know it, and I only have had to have seen this film once to fucking see it. James Gunn can't fool me because, like all the other extremists in New Hollywood, they're not very smart with their extremism. You failed. You failed to replace Zack Snyder. You failed with Justice League to replace Zack Snyder. You failed with Walter Hamada to replace Zack Snyder. You haven't, apart from Aquaman, right? You haven't made a movie since Zack's gone on the level of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman and the Snyder Cut. You are not capable of reaching the levels of Zack Snyder. And as I've said many times, you can keep on saying the man sucks. You can keep on saying he's a bad director, but the factual statement is that you're coping He's not a bad man. He's not a bad director. Your man, James Gunn, is. Your man, the worst creative, the biggest false prophet in the business right now, Comrade Fake, is the biggest false prophet you'll find in any decade of this industry.